Okay, so welcome back. In this second uh, video, the second aspect of the video feedback, I will be concerned with, helping you to understand how I feel about the quality of information that you provided. So I'm only focused on the quality of information now, and not on the formatting that was used. Okay, so first and foremost, let me help you get some mindset shifts, because really the the first and most important thing to consider is the mindset of whoever is doing the research, right? And there are a few things to always have at the back of your mind. So one is that you're going to encounter challenges along the way. You're not going to find data from every source that you would have, been sure to be able to find data from. And you're also going to, generally, you're going to be stuck, right, at some point or the other. Okay, but the mindset shift that I want you to have is that not everything matters, right? The number of pages that you have at the end of the day does not matter. Does not really matter. The what else does not matter? The fact that you didn't get a word for word or a verbatim data on what you are looking for does not really matter. Okay, I want to, as much as possible, jam everything that I want to say into this 15 minutes. So we don't want to exceed 15 minutes. So I can't really go into details, but I want you to understand that the mindset shift is really vital to understanding how to do this like a pro. Okay, but just have at the back of your mind, a couple of things that I already said. You're going to encounter challenges. You're going to be stuck along the way, but you want to have a mindset shift. Okay, number of pages does not really matter, and even when you get into that rut of you're not finding data, there's still a way to go around it. Okay, so more of that to come later on. So let's just analyze what you've done. First and foremost, I am saying here that for the most part you simply copied and pasted, right? This was more or less a game of, can I just find something remotely close to what I'm looking for and then just copy and paste it, right? Which is what I think you did. And I wouldn't consider this information too highly because of that. Okay, the reason is not everything that you find online is true, is correct, and should be referenced. And even when you're going to reference from pages from publications online, you should have a system in place as to how you to do that. Okay, what do I mean by system in this context? Part of what I mean is that to complete a particular section, for instance this subsection, I must have at least 2 or 3 sources of information that point to that points to whatever it is that I want to establish. In this case, I want to establish to my reader what the size of the home automation market is. I must not look from only one source. I must try to look to get that data from 2 or 3 sources, and I don't need anything extremely voluminous. I don't need you just copying and pasting from the very first word in that publication to the last. I don't need all of that. I need you to read every single line of what you are going to be showing me. Okay, as you're watching this video, I want you to take down certain things. Okay, I've said a couple of things already. I've talked about the mindset shift, and I've also talked about the fact that not everything matters. Okay, another thing that I want you to consider is the system that I talked about. You need to have a system as to what goes and what doesn't. For me, I like to believe that quality trumps quantity. Okay, so with that thinking, I want to have high quality information, and to do that I cannot rely on just one source. I need to reference from at least 2 sources, preferably up to 3 sources, before I complete a subsection of each section of the entire report. Okay, so I don't like the fact that this looks like you just copied everything that was on that web page and slammed it on your canvas here. That's not how to do it. Okay, part of the system is that you tell yourself, I must read everything that I must provide as part of my analysis, because this entire report is an analysis of a market, a business, whatever it is that you are being told to do, the overlying objective for doing the research. Okay, so you must read every single thing that if you're not going to read it, do not put it in your report. Why? Because many of the things that you will find online are BS. They're just, like I mentioned yesterday to you on phone, they are fluff. They are not important, right? So to be able to sort out, the bone from the meat, you need to do the hard work. There's no way you can. This is market research. There's no way you can try and shortcut this entire process. It's a very hands on deck kind of work. It's very dirty, quote and unquote. So I need you to read every single thing that you are going to be providing me. Okay, and then I also need you to confirm from 2 to 3 sources before you ever provide information for a particular subsection. All right. Now I won't go into the details of all that I'm saying here, because to do that I will require more than 15 minutes. But just having this mindset shift will help, will position you correctly to find more high quality information than having a scattered gun approach. Just find anything you see online and just put it here. It's not about the volume. Okay, let's move on here. I already talked about the fact that this does not have a source. I mentioned that in the feedback video. Okay, what else? Again, all of this seems to be from just one source. Never do that. Do not do that. Okay, you need to sort things out yourself. Okay, don't. This is not a done for you work. It should never be that you're just relying on what someone has already done entirely. You're leaning to their analysis partly. It shouldn't be entirely. Okay, you should be the one sorting out what kind of information you want, and you should be the one determining which one you want to include in your report and which one you don't feel is very necessary. And you cannot do that if you do not read between the lines. Market segmentation. Again, this seems to be just a total copying and pasting of what you have on the web page you got that from, which I believe is this. Okay, so another thing you need to know about the mindset with which I conduct research is this. I'm not so much concerned about simply completing the report as I am about understanding the markets, right? This is another thing that I want you to write down. Note it down, please. Before you get started, try and spend the first 30 minutes trying to read up as much as you possibly can about the market. Understand the market a little bit more than the average person, right? A little bit more than you did before you got started. Spend about 30 minutes. I spend at least an hour, sometimes more, not trying to write anything, not trying to fill in the pages of my blank sheet, simply trying to understand as much as I possibly can, because understanding as much as I possibly can helps me to know the right approach, helps me to know the right information that I need. You cannot know that if you're coming to do research not knowing anything about the market and simply believing that you'll be able to provide the best possible analysis for that market. I'll give you a simple example. Look over here. What is this? This reads global automobiles, right? Yet, the report was meant to be on what? Home automation. That goes to show that you didn't even understand jack about what you were supposed to research about. This is home automation. This is global automobiles, right? Totally different. So I'll presume that you were simply concerned about trying to finish before 7 p.m. You see, I wouldn't even mind if all you could gather was just, a 5-page report that is full of gems, not, jams now. I would prefer that you take your time to understand the market. You understand the market, and you have an approach as to how you want to go about finding data and which data is necessary for me to provide, which is not. Already you have an outline. Yes, I know you have a structure that you must try and arrange your report to fit into. But notwithstanding, I have simply provided like an overview and an outline, not an approach. You are the one to determine the best approach, right? And you cannot determine the best approach if you are not, if you don't take out time to, wet yourself a bit. Wet yourself in terms of trying to understand the market a little bit deeper than, like I said, the average person. A little bit deeper than, what you know about the market before you got started. That is how I personally go about doing market analysis. For me, I could spend, if I have only 5 hours, and I hope you're listening to this, if I have only 5 hours to complete a market report, I'll spend the first 1 to 1.5 hours reading as much as I possibly can. And trust me, once I've read that much, it becomes way less, difficult. It becomes a whole lot easier for me to know what I need, for me to know what I need to include and what I don't need to include. Because what you have on the internet is full of a lot of content, some good, some bad. You are the one, part of your work is to sort out, the shaft from the seeds. Now, no one is going to help you to do that. Okay. Now, it seems like, I've talked a lot about, mindset and not, the actual technical stuff. But it's the mindset that will really, help you to compile a very meaningful report. Once you have the mindset right, the technical stuff will fall in place. Okay, and with that said, I think I have exhausted my 15 minutes time slots. Let me see if I can wrap up in